Yes.
Hi, Zaina.
How are you today?
I'm very good. Very good. Yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for being with me live today, this evening. And I just want to tell the audience that Nicholas and I, we collaborate together a lot. And we have some nice programs and views for the future. And we're going to take advantage of you, Nicholas, today, because I know that you have an extensive experience when it comes to burnout. And I know as well that I'll let you explain more in a bit. And I know as well that you have a lot to share with the audience. And I know this is a topic that a lot of people are suffering from. And just let me introduce you slightly, and please feel free to add anything you need to add. So, Nicholas has been for almost 30 years in the hospitality industry, correct?
Yeah, 35, but 30 is good enough.
30 plus years. And 7 years out of those 30 plus years, you were the general manager at Aphrodite Hills Hotel. For those of you who know a little bit about Cyprus, we both live in Cyprus. Aphrodite Hills is one of the very important hotels in Cyprus. And Nicholas experienced some burnout at some point in his life, exactly like me. And today he calls himself a bulletproof coach. I would like to ask you why in a bit as well. Helping men in suits. And I did tell you that before. I love this saying, helping men in suits to beat burnout and find their balance. So please, Nicholas, if you can add what you need to add. I tried as much as I can to make a little bit of a summary of who I'm speaking to tonight. So that would be good if you can add something.
Thank you, Zaina. It was a very good introduction as well. And like you said, we have a lot of surprises coming with the collaboration we have in the very near future. So, anyone who's out there looking at us today and viewing us, just to keep it in mind, there's a lot of things to come in the near future. But yes, as you said, I've been in the industry for just over 30 years, 35 years, mostly in executive positions. My last position was, 7 years at the Aphrodite Hills, which is one of the largest integrated resorts in Europe. And I've been in executive position for many, many years. Burnout was my best friend for
Wow.
many years. Not because of the Aphrodite Hills, so we don't put that into perspective because of the hotel itself, but because the fact that I, as a person, was not able to see the signals and was allowing burnout to become my friend. It's like we say, you sleep with the enemy when you go
Yeah.
to bed. I was sleeping with burnout.
Yeah.
And this over the years caught up, and we will see it. Obviously, I'm sure you have the questions as well that we will tell the audience how to address these.
Yeah.
But this came along over the years.
Tell me a little bit. We hear a lot, burnout, burnout, burnout. A lot of people sometimes even use it. Some of them rightly, some others a little bit lightly. Um, what are the key signs of burnout? What is it?
Well, people, you're correct to say, Zana, people use the word burnout, but really don't understand what burnout is. They use it because it's a trendy word to use nowadays. If I feel lazy, if I feel tired, exhausted, they say I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the misconception of the understanding of the word burnout. But basically, what burnout is a state where not only your emotions, you're physically and you're mentally so exhausted because of a prolonged stress that you've had over the years. So basically, it's like you have all the stress, all this overwhelm over a long period of time, that basically you've put into your body, and it's created the emotional, the physical, and the mental stress that's now starting to come out. So it's surfacing.
So, in other terms, we're saying that burnout can affect us both mentally and physically.
Yes, and emotionally as well.
Yeah, yeah. Can we give some examples to the audience? Just a little bit of examples. Some people would like to just recognize I do have those signs. Let me have a reality check, you know?
Well, the signs, Zaina, are different to every person. But for example, if we take the physical signs, I'll give a very good examples that happened to me. Yes, and I covered mainly all three areas. I was a very good example. So basically, physical was my body started to send me signals. This was pains, aches, some skin allergy. It went further. I had in 1 year 6 operations because the body was keeping the score and it was just sending me the signals. So over the time, me ignoring them, it hit me like this. So one operation after the other. So basically, physically, the body sends you the signals. Mentally is you lose focus. Yes, you're not in the moment.
Yeah.
You may
Yeah.
get migraines as well, mentally and physically. So, and emotionally is where you have the bursts, the explosions. For
Yeah.
example, you have you become angry, you become very nervous, you explode for no reason, you trigger, um, and some people cry.
Correct.
They burst into tears without just for no reason. Something happens, they burst into tears. So everything starts to shift. There is a shift from what you were used to in the past, and those are signals. If you can see them coming and you say this is not what it used to be before, they may be signals of burnout. But that's where people make the biggest mistake. They ignore them.
Exactly. You know, I just want to share with the audience about my burnout, the one that I experienced. As you said, I became completely vulnerable. I bursted in tears. I had lots of headaches. I didn't reach the migraine, but I had lots of headaches, tension in my neck,
Mm.
my stomach aches. I cannot tell you. I remember very well. I used to produce a lot of acidity in my stomach. I lost motivation. For me, coming to work became like a really a bad thing.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we spend a lot of time at work. A lot. Most of our time we spend it at work. So if this is the case, that's a problem.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you as well. Why, in your opinion, we reach burnout?
Yeah, I think okay. I would say it's simple, but from my understanding, it's simple now that I've been there. For other people, they don't actually understand it until they actually pass that line. So what we say that line is, it's the boundary that you put where you will say, I will not work 16 hours a day. I will not get stressed for simple things which are not in my control. I will be able to take action here where it's necessary. So people don't put these boundaries in their life. And this creates the overwhelm, the stress, the work load that they are not used to. And again, with the boundaries comes the non-negotiables. That's where you have to say no, something where a lot of people are struggling with today. They say
Yeah.
yes to almost everything. So what happens then? All these yeses and all these not negotiables, or if we say non, they come and they pile up like a volcano, and then at some time it's just going to explode.
Yeah. And here I would like, as a therapist as well, emphasize on the fact that, you know, not being able to say no is because we would like to be accepted. We would like to belong. We would like to reach places. We would like to please, between brackets. And this is where, you know, when we talk about business, when we're talking here tonight about burnout at work, that's true. But at the end of the day, who is burning out? leaders, executives, managers, even employees. They are burning out, and all those people are people, they're persons, and their feelings, their emotions are what everybody experiences. And this is where we really need to pay attention to that, because sometimes we think that I'm beyond it, I'm very resilient, I can push through, and we just don't listen to our feelings at all.
Mm.
All right. What
And
areas?
Zena, and something very important, which you just said, just to put an end to this topic here, is a lot of people misunderstand their values and their priorities.
Tell me
Besides
more
the
about.
boundaries and the non-negotiables, when you don't have your values, what you really believe in, stand for, which will then become your non-negotiables, that's when you lose things as well. And that's where people take advantage of you, because you don't have strong values and you don't have your priorities right.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's very.
that's very important as well. Like what I say to my clients is, you have to have your values, you have to set your priorities, you have to turn them into non-negotiables, then you have to put your boundaries. Once you follow this, there's no way you can go wrong. But if something's missing from this triangle, then you have an open window where things are going to start filling and flowing in.
Yeah, like everything in life, Nicholas, at the end of the day, even in our relationships, when we are in a partnership or in a relationship, if we do not respect our own individual values, this is where we get blended with the other person. And this is where we start experiencing depression, anxiety, codependency traits start as well developing. It's like everything in life. It's very true what you said. I like this. So let us remind them it's values, and what is the other thing that you said?
It's your values, your priorities, then you turn
Value.
them into your non-negotiables, and then you
Yeah,
set your boundaries.
exactly. Exactly. And did you experience in your as a coach or even as a general manager, did you experience, or can you tell me what is the category of age or people or mainly positions that experience mostly burnout, or you think it can affect anybody?
Yeah, this is a very thank you for this question, Zainab, because it's very important. I made a study about I think 6, 7 months ago, where I wanted to understand exactly what you're saying. When is burnout hitting the leaders? At what phase of their life? And astonishingly, after asking about 100 different leaders, what came out was that normally in the past, burnout is more common to people who are over 40, 45. Why? Because you also have midlife crisis. You've reached a stage in your career where you may be right at the top, and now there's a lot of things that you've carried in that backpack with you until that destination, and there's a lot going on there. But what was surprisingly, that the report that I did from these interviews and that was, burnout is now common at the age of 25.
Whoa.
So this was very surprising for me, because I went back and I was thinking of my age, and I said, wait a minute, you're finishing high school, going into university. So you're about the age of maybe 19, 23 years old. So you finish university, then you go into the industry to work. And they already are burning out at the age of 25 to 30, 35. And most of them are already on antidepressants.
Yeah, I
This is
see that.
frightening.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
frightening. If at the age of 25, this is happening.
Excuse me, the question is here, is it a problem of resilience? Is it a problem of being less exposed to problems and less able to deal with the problems? Or is it a more fast-paced environment and a lot of requirements, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's clear. The industry, no matter what industry, let's say hospitality industry, it will never change. It's always fast moving, it's always evolving, and it's always going to be there. It's the people who need to change. So here, answering your question, is because the people are not looking after themselves, putting priority their well-being before their job. There was a very nice, interesting book I started to read where it says the man who mistook his job for his life. This is something we should all remember. Don't mistake your job for your life. It's a job. You can have 5 jobs, 10 jobs in your life. You have one life. This is the
True.
problem. They don't understand that they come first beyond everything else. That's where everything starts going wrong.
Allow me to just challenge this idea as well. How about the new generation or Gen Z that we talk about? These people are, all about mental health, all about, they want to preserve their life work balance. They want to not overstretch themselves. They don't care a lot about mortgages, and most of them don't want to even get married or have kids. So it's very interesting what you're telling me, that we're having burnouts at this young age, although this age falls mainly into this category I'm talking about. How do you explain that?
Social media.
Social media.
It's straightforward because, yes, keep in mind, I know before we used to interview the candidates. The new generation now, the Gen Z, is interviewing the company. So they go into the company and they say, do you give me all that I want? Good, I'm working with you, not for you, with you. If they don't get what they want, they just walk out the door. It's different. So you see, we were interviewing the candidates. Now the candidates are interviewing the companies. But what is more stressful, and it's putting the pressure on these Gen Z, and I have a daughter that's 12 years old now, and I'm so scared that she is going to go into the new world at the age of 18, for example. And I can see already that the social media and the impact it has, because that's where the stress starts. It's everything about social media. I want to be like them. I want to follow them. They're doing that. Why can't I do that? They become that. Why can't I become that? They have this. Why can't I have this?
Yeah, this need to be exactly fitting in and belonging, and this comparison always that is in the back of their mind. Yeah, very good, very good. Tell me, what are the areas that get affected in one's life when we burn out, mainly, as per your experience?
It could be, they have, again, with my example, you have decreased, you can have your job satisfaction goes down. Your connections with people that you have get lost. You separate. You have physical symptoms. You have issues at home, work-life balance. That means what you bring home and take to work and vice versa. You're not sleeping well.
Yeah.
So all this, and basically, what happens with burnout, is not only the person, it's everything around, because you're burning the environment around you as well. Especially with leaders. A lot of leaders say, yes, if I'm burnt out, good, okay, I can cope with it. No, I'm sorry, you cannot. Because yes, you think you can cope with it, but you're burning out the rest of the people around you that you're working with, and you haven't yet understood it.
Yeah. And it's beyond work-life balance, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's because we might keep the balance, we might keep, the limited hours, we might live our life, but take the problems with us at home and start thinking about them, saying, yeah, I did leave work at a certain time, I'm not overdoing it, I'm not giving all my time to my work, but still I go home, I'm stressed, I'm aggressive, I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm anxious. Correct? So
yeah, that's the emotional state that we spoke about, where you have anger, when you have nervousness, anxiety, triggers, frustration, and you take it home. For example, you may be okay, you finish it, but you're still under pressure. Then your wife, your husband, your child, or something, they say something to you, they do something, you get triggered, and immediately you explode. Over a long period of time, that is why many people will divorce, many people will have bad relationships, they don't have connection with their children because of this.
Tell me, if I may ask, what made you decide to be a bulletproof coach?
A bulletproof coach. Well, it comes back to my story as well, because I went through a lot, and you know my stories as well. I mean, I even landed at a stage where I almost had a heart attack. And this was because of burnout, overwhelm, and everything. So coming out of that phase and saying, how can I best protect myself in order for anything that happens cannot affect me as a leader? Because even if I'm a father and I'm not an executive, I'm still a leader. If I'm a husband and I'm not executive, I'm still a leader. If I'm a brother, everyone is a leader in their own way, in their own life. You don't need a title. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're all leaders. We're leading something. We're leading families. We're leading whatever, charity, whatever. So the idea came where if I can create that whatever comes from the exterior, because remember, everything comes from the exterior. We allow it to become our interior. If I can create this bulletproof person that no matter what happens, I'm bulletproof. That's how the idea came up, and that's what I do with my coaching as well, with with executives and people that I coach, is allowing them to have systems, because it's all about a system. You cannot just wake up in the morning and say, now I'm bulletproof. No, you need systems in your life in order to allow you to become this bulletproof person that no matter what happens, you're always going to be okay.
Yeah. So can we say, in other terms, we're building resilience here?
I would say it's one of them, because it's not only being resilient to be able to bounce back, because in the bulletproof, it's also allowing you to be vulnerable. It's also allowing you to have empathy. It's also allowing you to have authenticity. It's allowing you to create a new identity as a person. So yes, resilience is one, but it's all the other rest ingredients as well put together that makes this bulletproof person that you want to become.
Let's tell our audience tonight, what is the role of a coach? How can a coach help in all this?
Well, the role of the coach, depending on what coach you go to. But if we talk, for example, our role or my role is, and the clients that I have, specifically talking about like the men in suits, basically, it's a metaphor, men in suits, but I have women clients as well, but they wear suits. So the idea here is, regarding the burnout, is as a coach, we see what, I'll put it in simple words. My role is not to look at the symptoms. We go right deep to find the cause. And this is basically the client coming to the coach, me, telling me exactly what they want, what's going on, and where they really want to be in their life. Because everyone wants to be somewhere different, yes? And then we start to work together to understand that journey that you want to be on, to get that outcome, that goal, that objective, that dream, whatever, that destination. And that's my role as a coach, is to help you, keep you accountable, be next to you on this journey to your new path or your new destination.
Yeah. And just to make it clear for the audience as well, therapy and coaching as well go hand in hand, because we might encounter sometimes things in coaching. And myself, I'm going on the path of coaching as well, because I can see that there is a big marriage that can happen there. So we go in coaching, but sometimes we encounter some little things that are still blocking the person from living the life they want to live. So this is where we explore it more in therapy, so we can clear the blockage and then continue the road. So I'm super excited for this cooperation that we're going to have together very soon. And I want to, if I ask you to give one tip of what can people do to prevent reaching this turning point, the burnout itself. I mean, there's a difference between burnout and stress, and we clarified that. We all are under stress, and stressors are everywhere. But it's our
Mm.
response to stress is what how we decide to reply to the stress and how to live with the stress, how to react with the stress is what makes us reach burnout or not. So, what would be one tip that you can give for people to avoid reaching that non-turning point?
Allow me, if I can say, not to put it as one point, just to give some tips,
Of
because
course, give
with
and many.
one may not just cover everything. So um, the first thing is to understand the signals. If something is not right with your body, don't just go to the doctor, get a prescription, because exactly what I said earlier, the doctor's going to prescribe something for the symptom. It's going to go away. It's going to come back. Try to understand yourself, your body. Why is this happening? So you can understand where it's starting from, the cause. So understanding the signals. Yes. And again, if you go on Google and you say signals of, for example, burnout, you'll find a lot of information. But the tips I'll give to the viewers and listeners tonight is, I will separate it into the person, because there may be people out there who are not leaders, but they are people listening to us, and the leaders. The first thing is you need to prioritize self-care. You need to
Yeah,
look after yourself. Love yourself. Build such a relationship with yourself that you're in love with yourself. People forget this.
yeah,
Yeah. Take care first of yourself. Secondly, is set your boundaries. Third, I would say practice self-awareness, and understand where you are, what's happening, what's different. And the third is seek support. Like you said, if I need to see a coach, I will see a coach. If I need to see a therapist, I will see a therapist. It may be something else. Yes, but don't just, even if it's speaking to a relative as a first stage, but don't just put it underneath the carpet.
yeah. I cannot
This,
insist on the importance of that. Don't put it underneath the carpet. Every single person of us needs a coach in his life or her life. Every single person, even us, we need coaches because it's important to feel that we can share with a professional and try to understand and bring to awareness things that we are feeling that we don't know what to deal or how to deal with it, and especially when we talk about leaders. And because the image we see about a leader, yes, someone that is strong, someone that is understanding, someone that cultivates, depends on the leader again, but I'd like to think of leaders as people who take under their wings this big team of people that they are leading, and this is already in itself a huge responsibility.
yeah.
Already it's stressful to be able to deal with this amount of people in it's easy to be autocratic and give orders and just do it as I told you and don't argue. This is not the leaders we're talking about. We're talking about leaders, true
Yeah.
leaders. And true leaders do need assistance to be able to become bulletproof, as you call it.
This is very nice what you just said, Zena, before I lose the thoughts as well. Leading people,
Yeah,
because every leader has people to lead. Yes.
yeah.
Start by leading yourself.
Interesting. Can we elaborate on that?
Yes, because we're leading people. Like I remember where I was previously, I had just under 700 staff, managers, and I was the lead. I was leading this team. The biggest mistake I did was I forgot to lead myself. So how can I be leading all these people, delegating, controlling circumstances, making decisions, very difficult decisions. But at the end of the day, I couldn't use all these skills that I had to lead myself. In order for me, this is the second part of the tips, taking my breaks, delegating the tasks, taking those small little 5 minute me times or 7 minute me times just for me, and everything was about the other people.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying, and through the coaching that I do with the leaders, is they always tell me, I'm very busy, and I say, wait a minute. Can you not spare 7 minutes a day? You go to lunch, you have your cigarette break, you have your breaks. He says, yes. You're the leader, yes. So you can actually control your program, which you put on your desktop, on your laptop. They said, yes. So put in a green line or a color line that you like, and just call it me time. That's where everything separates. So in your at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, put it there and take 7 minutes to close your eyes, to listen to some good music, to see something funny that makes you relax on YouTube, anything that makes you feel good for 7 minutes. That's all it takes.
Anyway,
as
Nicola,
a small step.
That's very important. And I want to emphasize on a point: creativity, big projects, everything new that we want to produce happens in stillness. It doesn't happen when we are in this big Molinex, as I call it. It's turning.
Right.
It's a Molinex. Your mind cannot produce and cannot, big genius people created when they were in stillness. And this is very important. Recharging the battery. And I always give that example to my clients. You can't give without taking. It's like inhaling and exhaling. Balance. It's very important. I wanted to ask you a question. I forgot. I had it on my mind and it's not on the list of questions. I actually just realized that I practically didn't ask you anything from the list of questions, but that is what is good about it. We just go with the flow.
That's the whole beauty about it.
Exactly. We go with the flow. What the creativity gives us.
Maybe I can just fill in some things then, because a lot of people that call me and they say to me, "But Nicola, look, I love my career. I'm burnt out. Yes, I have all the symptoms that you're telling me. I have all this. I've gone through a divorce, whatever. I lost my passions, my friends, but I still love my career." This is why I say I help these leaders to build the lifestyle they want around the career they love.
Yeah.
So it means I'm not asking you to leave your career like I left to become a coach. If that's your choice, good. But yes, again, coming back to what I said to this book, don't let your job become your life, because we will all reach a stage when we become elder. We're all going to be on our deathbeds. We need to be able to be then looking back and say we have no regrets.
Yeah. And I would like to add to that beautiful idea as well. We are human beings, not human doing. This is very important always to understand. Human beings, not human doing. And just this reconnection with the self, this reconnection is mainly a big change and a big prevention against burning out. It's like, I can give a metaphor. I don't know if this makes sense. It's like someone running, and then at the end of the road, because they never stopped and they were running all the way, they were out of breath, and they look back and they see that they are now alone. I don't know where they're running to, what they are trying to achieve. What is the end line? What is the end line? Have we ever asked ourselves, why are we doing what we're doing? Why?
Sure.
So, I know and I understand that in half an hour we cannot talk about everything. It's just that I wanted to talk about that tonight because I hear a lot about burnout. And so many people come to me to therapy saying, we're burned out, we're anxious, we're depressed, we don't know what to do. So let us avoid that. We don't have to reach that point. There are a lot of, as you said, a lot of signals that would help us detect that point. Anything that you would like to add before we end our discussion?
Yeah, I think, Zana, the only thing I could say to the audience, to the viewers, the listeners out there is, it sounds scary when you say, am I really burnt out? And I need to get help. And that's where a lot of people pull back because of the fear of accepting that they may have burnout and they need help. And the only thing I can say, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
I mean, look at us. We've been burnt out and we've been, in high, I've been in high position and I'm saying it. But the thing is, if you don't acknowledge of the awareness that you may have this burnout, where is it going to take you? It's not going to take you to a beautiful place. I can tell you this from now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying something bad that, you will pass away. We've seen, I've lost a lot of friends in the industry because of burnout, heart attack, and that. And it's a shame at a very young age. But the thing is, are you in a place to lose your family? I mean, divorce. Are you willing to lose your friends, to lose your motivation, like you said, your health? No. So don't be afraid to accept it and to seek help. There are many coaches out there that specialize in this, and therapists like yourself, and a coach like yourself and us. And just don't. It's like we say, in the power of now. Just do it now. Don't wait until tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for your time.
You're very welcome.
And I would invite the audience later to send comments. We will be very happy to answer them. Send any question, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will tell you good night and see you soon.
Likewise. Good night, and good night to everyone, and hope to hear and listen to you and read your comments.
Yeah. Bye.